February 11th, Board of Public Works and Safety meeting, come to order. We do have a quorum, we're all here, Alyssa?
Yes.
And if you would take a look at the minutes of January 14th, that should be 2026, but we'll discuss that after we get a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We're in a hurry. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes of January 14th, 2026?
I'll motion to approve the minutes of January 14th, 2026.
Okay, I have a motion from, I have a motion from Dale, I have a second from Jim, I guess.
You mean you did?
Any corrections outside of the date listed on the agenda? That's actually,
I can change that, as long as
Okay.
it's good on here. We should be okay.
anything else?
Sorry about that.
Corrections? Nothing? All those in favor of approving the January 14th, 2026 minutes, say aye. Aye. Opposed? None. Motion carries. All right, financials. Let's take a look at the fund report and see if there's any discussion about that. You need to look at him? Okay, hold on.
Oh darn, Tony don't have any questions.
Yeah, I know everyone would be so disappointed.
There you go, Tony, if you want to take a look at that. Any questions? Oh, none? All right, let's move on to the claims recommendation for $22,261.35. Can I get a motion to approve?
Move.
I have a motion from Mr. Cooper. Can I get a second? Second. Second from Martinez. Any questions on the claims?
Chief, you told us before, but I'm sorry, I can't remember. Is outdoorsman sport shop, is that the ammunition?
No, outdoors where we get the optics and lights for our guns.
Okay.
Field, was that, how much is that one?
1267 and some change.
Yeah, that's for that. We use fields outdoor too. That's ammunition. You'll see that next
Okay.
month.
And field outdoor adventures?
That's usually where we get most of our ammo.
Okay. That's
Is
a
that
nice
the
name.
one? Is that the 6,000?
Yeah, 6141.
Well, you'll see it this month then. Yeah, that's all of our ammo.
Okay.
We try to do all of it at the beginning of the year.
Those are really weird names, I think.
Yeah. Most of them started out as doing hunting and fishing and stuff like that, and then like fields has moved into just doing police.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions?
Sorry, Tony, did I steal the show by asking questions?
No.
Okay, all those in favor of approving the claims recommendation of $22,261.35, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries. Payroll distribution, can I get a motion to approve the payroll distribution of $18,684.20?
I'll make the motion to approve the payroll distribution for $18,684.20.
I have a motion from Mr. Price. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Cooney. Any questions or discussion? None. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nay. None. Motion passes. Police Department? Chief?
All right, thank you. So we're going to start off tonight. I put some chairs out here so you guys can sit without straining your neck. We're going to show a body camera footage of an officer on February 1st, at 12:42 a.m. One of our new lateral officers who just got out of FTO got dispatched to Sycamore Apartments on a possible person shot. The reason I want to show this to you is one officer did a very good job for being as young as he is. There was some issues with it, but that was more on the backup side that he got from another agency. But I want you to see, one of the things is how many guns we're actually seeing now, and the type of violence that these guys are going to. We live in a safe community. We don't see a lot of that in-house. But again, we have borders that we have to try to keep them out. But just how chaotic it was and all that stuff. Plus, it's a good representation of what the new body cameras actually look like and how they record. So just a little highlight before we get to that. He was the first officer on scene. There's multiple people yelling. I think there's 4 women who are bloody. So I don't know if the kids, is that what bothering the kids at all? Okay, all right, just want to make sure before we start rolling. So there was approximately 6 people, I believe. 5 were bloody, and 1 guy somehow didn't get blood on him. But as he gets there, 2 women are still fighting. There's a person inside the apartment face down in a pool of blood. Like I said, it's very chaotic. The outcome of the story was they were in there gambling, got into a fight. The one male that has no blood and one of the skinnier females, our boyfriend, girlfriend, he hit the guy on the back of the head with a chair, knocking him out, which is where he's face down with blood. The women all started fighting, guns were pulled out. The one lady who you'll see walk away from the scene is the one she pistol whipped everybody, all the other women in the house. So very chaotic. But if you notice, like our officer, he stops a couple apartments away like he's supposed to. He approaches the scene. He's trying to figure out what's going on because everybody's screaming, yelling, there's blood everywhere. And it's pretty chaotic. But we'll roll real quick. Yes, sir.
Is this west on stop 10, is that where Sycamore is?
Yeah, west of Madison.
West, outside of our city limits?
Yes, yeah.
Can you explain what pistol whip means?
Oh, yeah, instead of shooting them, they took a gun and hit them in the head or the face or body or something like that.
All right, thanks. I've heard that a lot, I've never really, what exactly is that?
I got stuck with the chest and he was breaking his teeth, talking to them about what he was doing. And then I told him about 50s and I said, I'm going to speak about it. So that's kind of like my rundown.
Oh, I guess we're supposed to sit in the chair.
I brought you chairs, you sit where you sit.
I got a table. They failed instruction.
I forgot the popcorn with a table.
So obviously, based on what Chief had just said, disclaimer, it is kind of graphic, so if you don't want to watch it,
Okay.
that's the disclaimer.
And right before he starts, everybody does know the major, right? Spencer Roush?
Yes.
Okay, I want to make sure. I know he's been in trouble, but sometimes I forget.
The first 30 seconds, if I can get that, are silent. That's the pre-record mode on the cameras, so it'll, the sound should pop on at the 30-second mark.
Yes, the Officer Lane.
Yes,
Yeah.
Officer.
Yeah, he was the cadet, was here, went through our academy, didn't pass, then went through ILEA's Tier 2 and passed it. So he's matured a lot.
Good for him, good for us.
Do we have that? So you can hear him yelling, but he's still going to the scene.
Come on now! Hey, everybody stop! Everybody stop! Who shot? Who shot? Who shot?
Look at his face. He's got a big head. I'll show a closer view of him.
You're bleeding. Sit down. Sit down. Hey!
So the other officer you see just came up, he's got the guy, his hands behind his back, pushing him against the wall.
So are you just two of those ladies who went up with fix the wheel?
No, there's a student that I think she's got blue on, you see her going down the hallway. She's on with the two guys. Did you see her face there? She's up inside. Are they all drunk? And then you can see the one of the officers in there trying to make sure it says him. He's the security for the apartments. He's not a police officer. No, he doesn't know what to do. And all new officers to get those good gloves on in their pocket. And it's on film too.
Okay.
So the female officer that just walked back, the lady walked by her as soon as she got there. And she just let it go. She was the one that had to keep going. But they don't find anything else to do.
So that one's sitting down, right together?
No, she's at golf. She took off as soon as she got there. Well, we're very happy with that. So they're still trying to assess whether he's been shot or they didn't realize he got hurt. They thought he was shot at the time.
She's her, and then he's her. So there's three people there. Who shot? Okay.
So that guy is he out on the
And what's the officer's name that's standing right there?
He's the shooter.
See, that would take so much patience to listen to that many people talking at one time. It's just like,
Sit down! I'm not gonna tell you again! Sit! Okay?
He doesn't know anything. He doesn't know what's going on. He has no clue. He's the one that hit the guy in the head with the chair. He doesn't know anything.
after that, he doesn't know that.
She literally just got hurt. She literally, I woke up and she was trying to find out what's going on with her. I promised the guy I just got here. Who is that? The lady that was right there. Who is that? This guy, I don't know who that is. Sit down. You have to sit down. That's how I say it. I promised the guy
So have they all been drinking? Have they all been?
They were drinking and gambling inside the
Okay,
apartment.
thank you.
And that's pretty much, I don't think we need to watch the last minute of them screaming at each
I
other.
think it goes on much longer
It's
than that.
overwhelming.
Yeah.
I think I'd hand my badge in after doing it.
Yeah, and as you can tell, everybody's yelling. And again, one of the hardest things for a younger officer, a newer officer to learn is the more you yell at them to get them to do it, the louder they get.
Oh, yeah.
So trying to, and again, it's his first major run, I would consider, right out of FTO by himself. So I thought he handled himself very well. There are a couple issues, like I said, when it first came on, when he got there, Once the female officer was coming up, there was a lady who passed her all bloody, and why we didn't stop them, I don't know. But she was actually the one that had the guns in the purse. So that's why we couldn't locate any guns in there. And if you notice that when the first officer came to back him up, he said, that guy's got a gun. He puts his hands behind his back, pushes him a wall, and then turns and goes inside to check on him. He never handcuffed him, he didn't sit him down. So our officer is actually the first one after all that to go over there and actually handcuff him and pat him down. And
Did you was there too?
a little after he got there, yeah.
Did you apprehend that lady that had all
I think they've got a warrant out for her, it's what they're looking for now. Because they know who she is, but I don't know. It's IMPD's case, it's their jurisdiction, we were just the first car there. So trying to get everything sorted out. But you can tell, one of the things is he put it out as a person shot because that was the information that one lady kept giving him. And you can see how it evolves through that, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes? To where everybody started figuring out she never actually shot anybody. She just used the gun to hit him with it, and then he used the chair. But he swears to God, he doesn't know, and he just got there, so.
That was the guy against the wall that was yelling louder.
Yeah, trying to plead his case in court right then.
I got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to go back up there, that's all we had for body
Moral of
cam.
the story, do not play cards there.
But I will say, I mean, we're trying to show you guys more of,
That was good.
All right, this is guilty.
Right?
I'll wait for them to come.
Where's that at? The one that's here with the loudest fire department?
I got that eventually.
That's less than a 5 minute.
When they get out of the car.
Yeah, that scene's still so active,
Yeah.
they won't come until they can secure the scene. That's generally the first thing you gotta do.
Because they might have been down the road, but they'll ask for, is it safe for us to come in? Because again, those guys don't have the vest and all that stuff, so.
And what was the location?
It was the Sycamore Apartments right there at Stop 11 in Madison.
So is it,
Stop 10.
do we have two?
Yeah,
Did we have 2 officers or 1?
just one officer.
And then they had 2.
Yeah, and then
And then they had
one
one
came
yeah.
after, yeah.
So it was just Officer Lane from our department. He was the
Yeah.
first one
For
there.
the first minute or so, it was just.
Which is dangerous to approach all by yourself.
Yeah, well, and then, the other things that look outside of that is if you notice the girls start fighting, so he goes up, the one's got blood all over, you don't know where her lifestyle is.
Right.
So then you gotta look for, bloodborne pathogens and stuff like that.
And that's why you should have had the gloves
Yeah.
on first. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's always hard, Most of them have them all in their pouch, like I said, he's still trying to figure out what to carry, what not to carry. I mean, a 30-pound vest is heavy enough without adding things you don't need, so. But just kind of to show you guys kind of, what the officers are seeing, so you understand when we talk about certain things that I'll get to later. There's a lot going on there. You're trying to process what 5 people are screaming at you at the same time, which is most important. And again, once you get everybody secured, then it's the life-saving, we got a person down, let's get somebody here to help him. But he's trying to go through that filing cabinet in his head, and you're getting all this information at one time. So I thought he did a really good job of controlling it until people could get there. I think they could have helped better control it once, you got a gun, you go on handcuffs. One of the other things you'll notice is that he struggled a minute to get handcuffs on him. Wintertime, they got 4 coats on, or 2 sweatshirts, a coat, and trying to get it around the wrist. But like I said, he did a very good job. But again, just showing you guys kind of what we're seeing out there.
It's a pretty clear picture.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, and I think it helps you guys understand when we come in and we ask for new technology or we ask for new equipment, why we need it. You guys can actually see why we need the stuff that we need. You're not, in the dark on that stuff. So we try and integrate as much as we can, especially with the new cameras. It's a lot easier for these guys to get it uploaded for us and play it. So I know the major, with the Motorola system, they automatically audit random cameras. So do you do it every month or every week?
Yeah, so every month, Motorola, they have it run a report for me where it randomly picks a certain number of clips from each officer, and then we just audit it. We're looking for policy violations, body camera violations, and just general officer safety. Are they doing the right thing? It's a way that we can ensure that we have a high quality of work being done. And so far, we've done it now for a few months, not had a single issue. So our people are out there doing the right thing. It's just another tool that we have that we can say to people who try to say that we're not doing our jobs, but we are, and we're doing extra verification of that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So any questions on that, Ron? All righty.
Oh, how long did it take, do we know how long it took for, like, the ambulance or whatever to get there for the guy that was out?
He has it all on there. To be honest, I didn't go that far into it. We had a couple complaints from another agency that he said people were shot and they weren't. Unfortunately, on the way there, the female officer crashed her police car there and ran the rest of the way. And she was upset because nobody was shot, and she thought if he wouldn't have put it out that way, I guess she would have drove different. I don't know. The other complaint they had was he was yelling over the radio. Well, he's yelling because they're yelling, and if he just talks normal and they're screaming, they're not going to understand what he says anyway. So those were the complaints that we received. The major and the captain went through them, cleared him of those. Why they did that, and like he's talking about auditing, they did sit down with Jeremiah, and like one of the things they told him is when those two women are fighting and you have 5 other people, don't interact, don't break up that fight. You can't see everything going on. Get them at gunpoint, give directions. They'll tire themselves out eventually. Until backup gets there, then we'll break up that fight. But one officer on 6 people, that's not a win-win situation. So a little of those little things a new officer hasn't seen until it happens gives them a good opportunity to sit down and say, okay, this was great. We can always learn from the run, no matter if I do it or the major does it. There's things that we can go, man, I wish I would have done that, or, and make it better. So Jeremiah sat down with the captain, they went through it, and, he learned from it. Like I said, nobody died, so that's a good thing. We got medical help there as quick as we could and got the scene secured, so. All in all, it was a good thing. Like I said, anytime we get a complaint though, the major and the captain's first job is to pull the body camera, get the reports, and figure out, is it a valid complaint, is it not a valid complaint? So there was a lot in that body camera, which is why we kind of showed that there was different avenues to that we had to go down. But after you watch it, it pretty clearly shows he did the best he could do with what he had. And I don't fault him for anything he did. I don't know if you had anything to add to that.
I think there's just some frustration from that officer that she wrecked her vehicle. And I think that everything our officer did was 100% justified based on the facts and circumstances he had at the time. And they didn't formally complain, they were just kind of voicing their frustrations. We were very quickly able to shut that down, say not at all. This is what happened, you did the right thing. And I think after that, they kind of understood once they knew all the facts as well. So
When you say they, IMPD?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's always, one of the things like when we have a police action shooting, one of the reasons we changed the policy to say you get 72 hours before you give a statement is because they say it takes 3 sleep cycles to actually remember what happened fully. So that's why we changed that. It's the same thing. Heat of the moment when I crashed my car, I get there, I got 7 screaming people or 6. Tensions are high. So, like I said, they voiced their concerns. Probably if they'd have thought about it a day or 2 before they voiced those concerns, they probably wouldn't have had them. But they did. We take that serious. So we investigated it. But, all right.
All right, great, thanks.
So the second thing I got is this morning, it's still today, right?
Yep.
This morning, at about 2:43, we had a drive-by shooting at 167 Pine, which is our corner house on Anniston in Pine on the northeast corner. They are famous for his brother calling the FBI and telling him he was going to kill the Hispanic people because he didn't know which were legal or not legal. If everybody remembers that house, we're there quite often. His niece is staying with him. Evidently, her boyfriend is not happy with her, so he drove by and fired a round into the house that went through the window and stuck into an appliance or something.
yeah, they could see at least one of the rounds that was fired was still jammed in the wall or the door.
2 nights ago?
this morning.
Like about 2 a.m. this morning.
And how did we know it was him?
Oh, they knew who it was. Yeah, she grabbed him out pretty quick. So we got a description of the vehicle, we got the two possible people inside the car. So detectives, captain showed up last night, so I know they're running that down now. But yeah, Anna Nicole is her name, she lives there.
Chester owns it.
Yeah, so that was that one, so if anybody hears about that, yes, that did happen. I think Detective Drew.
Yes,
on that one.
I was just speaking to him on the way here tonight. He already has a lot of work done on it, some warrants out for various things. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it's gonna probably be an attempted murder based on the facts and circumstances we have so far, so.
So we're on top of that one. But I just want everybody to know it's not a regular drive-by, we were just driving by shooting it.
No, this was a very
This was
very
targeted.
specific to that
Yeah.
group of people that have been an ongoing
Yeah,
nuisance.
we've taken stolen cars out of there lately and all that, so that was the air quotes on drive-by shooting.
Yeah,
I don't know how else to actually do that one.
That is good.
You talked to her about the meeting, setting up for that already. I'll do this last, I think. Yeah, I'll do that one last. We had two officers resign this week, Officer Pease and Officer Jacobs. Officer Jacobs is due to his work, he owns his own business and he doesn't have the time. Officer Pease was other issues we can talk about after a meeting if you'd like. I know Major talked to you a little bit about setting up interviews. We have 4 laterals that we're looking at again. So he'll
You'll
get
get
you
with me, I
those.
guess, and tell me when you
Yeah.
when you find out what you need to find out.
Yeah, I'm waiting for
Get
his
the
confirmation.
date for me and
You know, you guys can get your board part together. We've talked quite a bit about health and hospital. The 17th of this month, they are voting to become their own police department. So we've started the process of running an academy for them. They currently have 56 officers that need to go through the Tier 2 Academy or Certified Reserve Academy. They're looking at 26 at a time, which means we can knock it out 2 academies. We were hoping to get it started late February. ILEA has decided they're changing the whole process on how we do academies. So that's kind of put a monkey wrench in our plan. So currently what they've done is every academy now has to go in front of their board. Their board meets, I think it's every other month, the 3rd Monday, which would make it April 20th. So we've gotten everything to them that they needed. Then they called us back and said, oh, by the way, it's went from 376 hours to 465 hours. So we have to change all the dates and times now. So we're working with them to get that done. We're looking at starting that academy April 21st. So you'll get the approval the 20th. We'll start it on the 21st.
And what hospital is that?
Health and hospital, so it'll be Eskenazi, all of, any health department property and stuff like that. They have approximately 97 officers, security officers right now. IRA charges $500 to go through their academy, so we charge the same, and they have to buy their own ammo, all that stuff. One of the good things about working with the health and hospital, trying to get accomplished within their year, we're going to run it Monday through Friday. They have instructors they're going to lend us, so we're going to work together so that me and the Major aren't the only 3 doing the classes during the day. And then they detailed one of their trainers to us, so he's been helping AC get all the paperwork and all that stuff done so that we can get it turned in. The other good thing is, I don't know if you've seen the binder, but it truly is this tall. We can do it all digital now, so that's a plus. So they've changed some of the ways they're doing things, so we're still good with that. Like I said, hopefully April 21st will be the start date, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 in this room. If anybody'd like to come and watch or sit in, you're more than welcome to. I know Dorothy likes doing that.
I love it.
If you want the calendar, to see what classes we're doing. Once I get that done, I'm more welcome to send it out to you guys. So if you want to pick a cool class to come to, I wouldn't pick criminal law, but if you'd like to, you can. Stops is always fun. Evo is always fun. We can drive some cars. So that's where we're at on that.
And how many weeks will that run then?
About 14. Yeah, with the added
Two
hours.
different ones for them, you said?
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe one spring and one fall or something?
Yeah, we're kind of looking at that because once they get sworn in as police officers, they only have 1 year to complete the academy. So we're kind of trying to look at how to do that without putting ourselves in a bind. Like we might take the first 26, swear them in, get them done, and then wait for the next group to swear them in so their year starts then. One of the things that I want to let you guys know is since they are not a recognized police department yet, they're going through that process once they get the vote. That could take anywhere between 6 weeks and 6 months. They would have to be reserves to be able to go through the academy. They have to be sponsored by a police department. One of the things we talked about was we can make them reserves for the time period of the academy. They get no weapons, they get no badges, they get no IDs. It's just to be able to get them in the academy. ILEA was fine with that, so that's something that, we probably need to get you guys to vote on since I'm getting that look from her from across the table to do that. And ILEA is well aware that if another bill comes out where we have 500 police officers, they're going to step up and tell them why.
Good.
So yeah, if I could get a vote on that
Oh,
to allow us to make them reserves for the duration of the academy.
okay.
From the
How
start
many
of
officers are
26 at a time, yeah.
at a time? Should we,
Each academy will have 20, approximately 26. I know the first one's 26.
could we just approve it for all of them and just be done with it? Is that okay?
Melissa?
Can we make a
Or
motion
you want us to do
approve all 56?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
I think that's fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, so I need a motion to approve all 56 to become reserve officers in name only while they complete the academy.
I so move.
Get a motion from Mr. Cooper, do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Cooney, any other questions? Concerns? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion passes.
One of the reasons, because ILEA keeps asking us to, why we're doing this, I think everybody knows we're pretty proud of our training around here. And we believe, as a city and department, that the most training you can get, the better officers we're putting out on the street. There's some other caveats that every time we do a blood draw on a DUI, they charge us $200, health and hospital. Yes, which is irritating since they're funded by county tax money. But anyway, the other thing is, if you remember, anytime we have a suspect in custody who is injured, we have to sit an officer on him. So if they're there for 3 months, we have an officer there 24 hours a day for 3 months. The discussion in helping them with this was we were no longer going to pay $200 to sit on our prisoners. So they've agreed to that. So once we get this going, their vote's done, we'll get an MOU set up with them so that we're covered there. But one of the neat things about it, talking to Director Tim Horty at ILEA, was they actually use our book to show other departments how to do it. So I think that says a lot about our training, our guys, the effort they put into it. So those are the reasons why, because everybody's like, that's a huge thing, and $500 a person really isn't as much. It isn't a lot of money. And that's something after we get through them with the changes that ILEA's made, like we have to go out to the track now and some of those things that we need to discuss on what do we want to charge in the future for that. But we can bring that up at a later
Did
meeting.
you say it's 475 hours of training?
465.
Right, so it's like a little over $1 an hour per officer.
Yeah, yeah.
You think of it that way.
The things you have to look at is like, so one of the things they changed is we used to use the speed drone racetrack for our Evo. They said you can use it as much as you want. If we go out to ILEA, we have to pay for that. Now we have the credits built up after donating the car. So there's other monetary things so for 26 of them, I have to pay $50 a person for the 40 hours. So there's money in there that if we would have known ahead of time, that probably would have been 500, it'd been more like 1,000 a person. but ILEA changed after we started negotiating. So kind of where we're at on that. But that's something that we can bring up once we get, see how the first one goes. Because they do have an opportunity to send 15 officers out to ILEA for theirs too. So not sure, we'll get through the first one. They might have already sent some. There's a little debate, I guess, with their employees saying, well, I don't want to go out there for 14 weeks if I can go home every night, come to this one. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes that we're trying to filter through and do the right way. All right, we got that done. Ammo for the year, you guys already approved that. Drive-by shooting, I talked about that. Today at the Julia Carson Transit Center downtown, we had a sergeant working off duty there. They had 6 people OD. It made the news if you haven't seen it yet. He was the first responder there. He was able to get medics there. After those 6 OD'd, I think he said right after that they had 3 more OD.
Okay.
So I don't know if they're all using the same batch or what. But he was there. I know 2 are in critical condition, but I believe the other ones were okay. So good work by Sergeant Patterson for being on that and getting medics there as quickly as he did. All right, last thing on the police, and I know I'm sorry, this is going longer than I wanted it to. On your desk is an email I received from Willie Hall, who is our engineer. Sorry the way the paper read, but if you flip it to the backside where it says hello Willie, one of the council members reached out to him and was asking, basically I'll just say it. There have been several complaints about speeders in Southport. I was wondering about collecting traffic speed data to see if the data supports the claim. The traffic data could also give the officers an idea on when and where people are speeding. I see that there are devices such as mounted pole radars and tube traffic counters that can be used to collect the data on the traffic and speed. Do you think either of these options will work for Southport? Do you know of any other city that uses the data? And then on the other side is Willie's response, which I won't read. Here's where I'm at with this. Couple things. First of all, I wasn't attached to the initial email asking our city engineer these questions. Second of all, that falls under the board's jurisdiction, really not the council's. Third is if Willie collects data for us that is an hourly charge that we have to pay.
Out of our budget.
Out of your guys' budget, yeah, not the council's budget. If everybody remembers a year and a half ago, I've been screaming for another full-time officer. Alyssa was great enough to put the numbers together for me, and it was like $110,000. We were supposed to meet, budgets caught up with us, we didn't get time to, but we were looking at how to find that money, not spend more money on tube radars and traffic signs. There are 5 speed limit signs between McFarland and Southport Road that say 20 miles an hour that they don't read. A flashing sign that says your speed is this isn't going to slow them down anymore. Other thing is we just spent $7,000, well it'll be $6,000 a year now after the initial for Flock, which Flock tracks traffic patterns, traffic vehicles, suspender, all that stuff. So we already have that technology. The other thing is our city is not big enough where we don't understand where the problem areas are. We know that. I think we're pretty good at that. But I know in the last couple meetings here, and maybe in a council meeting, I think I brought this up too. Just for example, this month alone, there were 389 traffic stops this month. On top of that, they made 9 arrests. They did 6 accidents. They took 52 primary runs, which means they were dispatched to a house for some reason or a location. They did 90 assist runs, which is like one we just watched. They impounded 40 vehicles. They did 1,651 building checks. We have 1 officer a day. 1. Okay? I can tell you where all the problem children are, and I can put an officer at every corner, and he can only stop 1 car at a time. So when he has one car stopped and the other 12 drive by him, I'm still gonna get a complaint on the speeder. It's not gonna fix it. It's kind of frustrating because I think I have an open door policy and I will sit with anybody and pull out statistics and talk. I know the major spent weeks compiling every year at the end of the year a cool little graph thing that tells you time, dates, race, gender, anything you want to know is pretty much in there. And if it's not, all you got to do is ask for it and we'll get it. So I really don't know how to address that other than we try really hard in these meetings to get all the information out. If another department or person has an issue, come to us. You are going to get complaints about speeding all the time. We've had that since we've had cars. You tell somebody to go 10, they're going to go 15 just because they can, and they're going to do it. Did those old Model Ts go 15? Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
I got a flathead V8 that goes over 50. Anyhow, the only thing I have seen, I go through, because I always go through Fairlawn a lot, Fairlawn Road, going to Shelbyville and everything. And they've got that little square thing that, you know, right below, and it tells it. And I have seen people slow down.
Yeah, and they're great tools, and we've talked about them here before.
So I don't know what.
We just looked at one today, it's $8,900.
Okay, I just didn't know.
And that's one. So do you want me to put it on Southport, McFarland, Madison, or Stop 11?
I understand.
You know what I mean? So the flock system, it picks up all the traffic. I mean, it plates every car. That's how we find out whether you have a warrant, you're suspended, your license is expired, all that stuff. So we are getting that technology. The issue is the manpower. If we don't have the manpower to do that. And again, like I said, if you gave me, I don't know how many streets we have in corners, but if we had an officer for every corner, again, you can only stop one car. Now, I did see Cody Robertson, and he could stop 4 at once. But I don't know how he accomplished that, but it's the same thing. Like, we know that if they're doing road construction on Stop 11, we're gonna sit on Southfield and Stop 10, because that's how we're cutting around. So the officers all know that. Like I said, our city is not that big. If you read Willie's, I think he says in there like Carmel. Well, yeah, Carmel, there's probably areas that they're not aware of, where that stuff comes in very handy. And if I had Carmel money, we would have that, but we do not. So it is frustrating. Like I said, we're trying to figure out, we're losing property tax money. We're looking at the budget really hard. We're trying to squeeze stuff where we can do it. And for that kind of stuff, I just think the simple come in the office and ask a question, you got your answer, versus having our engineer do what he had to do. So that's my rant on that. Any questions on the police?
Well deserved, man.
Do you have a comment?
That was the comment.
That was the comment, okay. Okay, so we'll go to Public Works with no questions. We good? Okay.
We're good.
Oh, talking about that, I did find a sign that, you know, Southport Road used to be 12 miles an hour. I'm going to repost those. And we'll see how many complaints we get then. All right, under maintenance, Dorothy and I, Monday, went over and looked at the community room for a little bit. So I'd like to, I know she's in the middle of an audit till probably the end of this month. So if we could look at putting that committee together for
Yeah,
maybe
we
end
need
of
to come up
March
with-
or April. Did you
April.
want to do that?
I think April. I was kind of wondering about that because we're going to go look, we're going to come up with ideas. We're going to talk to, would we be talking to Crossroads then about getting ideas on costs, or we had discussed doing a 5-year plan. So
Yeah.
what would this first section cost, what would that, and then is that actually feasible to get it done this year? Is it something that we?
Not all.
No, not all,
Yeah.
but whatever would be in the 5-year plan, the first
That's-
year.
That's one of the things, like I said, that's
You
one
know,
of the
and
reasons why we asked
so
for
how
this.
quickly do we need to move towards that to get that bid process and the whole thing through? To get that
Yeah,
done?
because I mean, there are at least 3 bids. I don't know that Crossroads would be the one more than trying to find a contractor who
Just
does
find-
that, yeah. Because I know, we have one that lives in the city, I just found out, that does a lot of stuff like race
Okay.
filming and stuff. So I think my goal at first is sit down, go look at it, come up with
Right.
a 5-year plan to remodel the community room. Tony's got that book.
Was kind of like what,
Yeah.
we've been talking
So
about.
We have
So and I'll get to the Perry Seniors. So we started remodeling the community room year by year, what, since 18?
Yeah,
I think.
2018.
So looking at what's the next step, that old mayor's office is being used more as a storage and junk area. One of my ideas was if we can get rid of the fireplace and open that up, and then have indoor bathroom doors so you can use the bathrooms on the inside instead of the outside.
Yeah, that was one of the main things we first talked about.
But then we started looking at all those metal doors are rusting out on the
Yeah.
bottom to where there's gaps. So that is something we need. So kind of get an idea what we're looking at. I know it's only like 32,000 we have a year to spend, which is kind of, I'm sorry,
I think it's 35.
is it 35? Which is kind of why I wanted Alyssa and Jane in there. So one, they're the ones that came up with all the colors here, design. But two, we got the money, people there.
Let's do it.
But come up with some type of plan and then have contractors come in and give us some
And then we
bids
can
on
see
what that
what we
looks
can get
like.
done in a year,
Right.
and each year.
So that's kind of my thought on doing it that way.
Okay,
Again, if you guys got a different way you want to go with that, I'm fine with that. Just trying to make it as streamlined as possible so we can
It's a
get
starting
stuff done.
point.
Yeah.
It's all about the budget, right?
Yeah.
And now,
Moving forward.
so we were talking about you and Jane and myself, and then Kiara, you had volunteered? You're
Yes.
still in on it?
Yes.
Okay, so that's
And then I don't know
sufficient
if
for
you
a
want,
committee,
yeah,
or?
whatever you decide.
Oh, I mean, we'll take a look and see, I mean, that's,
Yeah.
we need
I mean,
to.
because one of the other things I have on here, well, it's actually next, is looking at the hours that we're renting the community room. And then once you start doing these upgrades, what's that rate? We also need to raise the rate to help us, recoup our money from all the work that we're gonna put into it. Because it is gonna be a lot of work. Because once we get that end done, we still have the old police station, the indoor bathrooms in there are crappy.
Terrible.
Yeah, so it'll be longer than 5 years, but if we can at least focus on one side and get, 3/4 of the building done, I think that's the part that people use the most.
Right,
I think
and you had said that we raised the rates about 2 years ago, was it, or longer?
Was it last year?
I think it's been longer than that.
Has it been?
Longer?
Say,
So here-
5, maybe.
Yeah.
And here's one of my issues with it. Right now, we rent Friday from 4 PM to midnight. Saturday, they can either rent all day, which is 8 to midnight, or 8 to 3 and then 4 to midnight, Saturday and Sunday. We run into the problem recently where Friday has been rented, a half a day on Saturday, so they had 2 rentals on Saturday, which means she has to go and clean in between them, and then an all day on Sunday. Our park hours are dawn to dusk, so we kind of violate that anyway, because if they're renting the center and they're playing on the playground, we really don't run them off. But it's very hard for a part-time custodian she works Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays here, and then weekends has to clean that. So having her over there at 1 in the morning to get something done isn't a very good safety plan anyway. So, some like 8 to 8, and maybe we only rent it all day.
And just
then-
one
Yeah.
rental for the day.
Yeah,
Now,
and then
is
do
that-
like a 4 to 8 or 4 to 9 on a Friday.
If we did just one day, the full day, I mean, is that cutting into, we're
I don't think
cutting
so.
money out of her
Because the
pocket?
majority are all
I
day.
don't, I very rarely have to, a Saturday or Sunday.
Okay,
That doesn't happen
I
very
was
often.
thinking that's cutting her pay, although she may be happy not to work at home.
Well, she started backing off here because there was some good hours
Okay,
over there, and
alright.
she only has 25 hours a week. So a lot of it was, hey, because she'll go in Sunday and clean up for all the
Sure.
last rental, and then she'll come over here and clean up a little bit. And then she takes off Monday, comes in Tuesday, takes off Wednesday, does
Looking
Thursday,
at that
Friday.
too. All right,
So, it's something that you guys need to look at, and then maybe we can bring it up next month, unless you want to talk about it tonight.
Any discussion, any thoughts right now while we're discussing it? Any?
And
I like
Alyssa,
the idea
Knee-jerk.
of one rental a day and not till midnight. And we can figure that out. maybe.
yeah, and I don't know if you have, because she does overrate, so.
Yeah, I don't think hardly anybody's ever there until midnight.
No, and that's the
So I don't
problem.
think that would be a big deal.
Okay.
Yeah, because a lot of times they'll rent it all day, they might not get there till 10, but they'll be over by 3. But, she's on, stop living in Bluff. So for her to drive over to see if they're here, I mean, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's.
She usually will call the officer and ask if they're still there. But just kind of, you know, if we did like an 8 to 8, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and then like a 4 to 8 or 4 to 9
It might
on
be that we
Friday.
should start having the renter text her, I mean, if she doesn't care, or me, or whatever, and say, I'm leaving. I mean, that's what we had to do when we rented before,
Right.
That's a good idea, I like
you know,
that.
just so they know that
And we have a
it'll be
heads up.
gone. Yeah, I mean, as long as Donna doesn't care about somebody having your phone number, but
Yeah.
they don't need to know who it is.
Right.
I guess.
No, they're always shocked when they call that number and they
I
get
know.
the police chief. Like, oh crap, oh my God, Sunday at 8 in the morning, what do you want? The bathroom's all open. So I don't know, is it something you guys want to kind of think about for,
You guys want
This
to
month, and then
anything
you come up with
that
something
you
next
wanna
month,
make
or-
it real?
and what's the rental for an all day?
The cost?
Yeah,
For a non-resident, it's 200 and it's 150 for a resident.
For all day?
and that's right now from,
That's
right now it's
8
8
to midnight.
to midnight.
I think it would be helpful to compare what we're charging to some of.
Well, and Jeff's done some of that, he's brought it up before. It's like, I think Greenwood was,
They're like 200
an hour.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
They're very
and
expensive.
Franklin was even higher, Franklin was
Of course,
outrageous.
Greenwood's Facility is probably a lot nicer.
Right,
than ours, but-
right, we'd have to take that into consideration.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to go.
And I don't remember if it was you and I that were talking, but you said something like stormwater, how they did it increased every year.
Yes, right, well, we increased stormwater fees over like 5 years,
Yeah.
so that it wouldn't be such a shock to the residents. And maybe we could do something like that with the community center rental.
So listen, if you guys will do this for me, then why don't we look at the hours and then the rates? And if you guys kind of want to work on that for a month and kind
Okay.
of get some ideas.
Let me ask
maybe-
Melissa one more question though.
Sure.
So at this point now, with the hours that we have now, are we booked for all the hours that we have, whether they stay there the whole time?
Yeah, we're booked right now until the middle of April.
Okay. So we don't throughout the year have it where people aren't there from, you know, Monday through Friday, it's
Not
not the
anymore.
second
It's
shift.
pretty-
Well, if you remember when we did the parking lot, the only time we could find is when we did it, and we had to cancel 2 to
Yeah.
get that done. So it's usually booked all year.
Yeah, that was almost a year.
So there are people doing 4, excuse me, 4 to whatever, and 8 to 3.
Not, normally they get the whole day, because their party's
Oh,
gonna
really?
be at 2 o'clock,
Okay.
and they have to just do it all day. I
Okay.
don't, because that's how the key fobs work. If you get the morning, it works from 8 to 3, or it doesn't work, you'll get locked out or whatever. So they'll just do all day, which that's probably about 95% is all, they take it for all day.
Because most of them want to
There's
set
very
up.
few.
Because a lot of them say, can I get in the day before to set up? And you're like,
There's
"No."
very few that do just
Okay.
receptions, even though I think last weekend we had one for Sunday morning, but.
Mhm.
But then I didn't book anything for Sunday night. I try to be real nice to Donna and not do that unless somebody's just really, really needs it or, you know, whatever, but, yeah.
All right, so if we think about it over the
Yeah.
next month, come up with some
We can have a
solid
conversation
discussion
with
about it.
Donna between now and then probably and see what we're.
Yeah, and I talked to her a couple of times, and I mentioned like 8 to 8, she was like, that would be great.
Yeah.
Because I can go at 8, I don't
I'm
need to
liking
worry
the
about it.
sound of it, so.
It keeps her from being there at like 1 in the morning.
Well, and again, in the summertime, it's still daylight, so she's not there at night. That's what I'm really trying to avoid. One of the reasons, several reasons why we locked outdoor bathrooms, I mean, the vandalism was one of the biggest. But there's others where she'd be over there at midnight, and we had a homeless person in there because he knew the door locked at midnight, probably from trying it for a week or whatever. So, you know, and then the officers have had the problem of, they go over there and the kids are still playing basketball if it's warm enough. Yeah, just looking at her safety for one, and 2, for $200 for all day, I don't think you're gonna find a place around here you can do that. So, if we can look at those couple things, and then come up with something next. And then I know the pain for Alyssa is the roomers that are already there have already committed to that price, so her trying to figure that out is,
Yeah.
I know that was a big hassle last time.
Yeah.
So, if we could do that, I'd appreciate it.
Okay, we'll do that.
And then I'll try to remember to put that back on my list for next month.
Okay.
All right,
Anything else on those 2 things? And then if you wanna,
set up the meeting.
yeah. I'm trying to give her a break because her office looks like a bomb went off in it.
It's not very nice.
But it's true.
But you know where everything is.
If I remember this, so if we could look at maybe April,
Yeah, no, I mean,
With that,
it's in March.
so if you want to find something in
Sometime during the
April.
week in April.
Yeah,
Your hours are 10 to, so sometime during that time.
9 to 2.
9 to 10. Okay.
All right, that's good.
Thank you. So Bob and I plowed for 24 hours straight for 3 days, back and forth. On the third day, we blew a hydraulic line on the truck, which I think after, 2015 we bought the plow. That's pretty good. That's the first issue we had with it. And then the headlights went out, so we had to put new headlights on top of the plow. That was the second day. And then after the third day, we were going to salt when it warmed up a little bit and the salt spreader broke. So,
Yeah, it was
and then I overheated the snow blower. Good time. That's how I knew it was time to go home. When something broke, I was like, I got the truck.
It's like it'll melt eventually.
Yeah, now I got the truck stuck out here and I called it a day then too. So the plow's been fixed, the headlights have been fixed. The salt spreader, Tillman's, got it working for us to get the salt out of it, and they've ordered us a harness for it. So hopefully we'll have that in a week or two and won't need it the rest of this year. Brad reached out, he's looking at a time next month to sit down and talk about our community crossing grant, which would be 2025's community crossing grant. So one of the things we're looking at is, starting this year, it used to be a 25-75 split, now it's a 20-80 split. So we're only paying 20%. Some of the things Crossroad has seen is they're starting to deny some of them now, where they never have in the past. So they went to one bid a year, and they're denying some. So kind of what we're going to look at this year, because ours has already been approved, we have the money, well, we'll get the money, is are they looking at bigger projects or smaller projects? And do we kind of got to shift our focus on how we're doing our community crossing? So kind of wants to talk about that a little bit. So once he figures out when that is, I'll send it out to you, and then we can go from there. And then in that, he also wants to look at 2027 and get ahead of that. Crossgate Road, is that road or lane? Lane, Crossgate Lane. The asphalt is coming away from the cement curbing, so we're getting a lot of chuck holes along the curb side. So I know that's one we need to do. And for some reason on our pavement asset management, it was rated better than it really is. So I don't know if they missed it or what. But the other issues that we're having is on Madison Avenue, at South Street, Warman, and Van Dyke. It's chuck holes right there on those turns. In all reality, they belong to Indianapolis.
But they're not gonna fix them, are they?
We spent a ton of patch last year, throwing a patch in there to fix the chuck holes. So kind of, I don't know if you guys remember, a couple years ago, on West and South Street, we patched like a 30-foot section. So kind of looking at from Madison back to where the roads are good, because all those have been paved. It's at 50 feet, whatever. Looking at adding those to the Crossgate portion of that. And then, like I said, when we go out, we'll drive every street and then see if we have other issues somewhere else. But that's kind of what him and I have been talking about, looking at. You guys all received the snowplow policy. It's not a new policy. It was enacted back in 2019, I believe.
Yeah, 19.
I think Russell was the mayor then. You simply have that, so when people ask why your alley isn't paved this 2 hours into a blizzard, you can notify them that this is how it's set up. I know you probably have never seen it, so I want to make sure you guys got that.
Yeah, it's in our,
So it's on your thing, and it on the last page, it actually has different colors on how we do it. When you get that much snow, it's really hard. You have to plow all the way to the curbs in case you get another foot of snow, so you have a place to put it. But if you were out that night for whatever reason, because we seem to have a bunch of people that didn't understand to stay home. There was one travel lane in the middle, and then as we went, we widened them. But at least people could get home from work or go to the hospital or whatever they had to do. So that's the reason why that's in there. Nothing new, it's just information.
In a certain time, I heard the truck roll through, and I heard the truck roll through, and then gone. And I'm like, that's a waste. Because the snow's coming
I always
down.
wait till after you get done snowblowing so I can throw it back in your driveway.
I don't do that no more.
Yeah, I drive by, he's out supervising. Somebody else is doing his snow. I'm like, that ain't even fair.
So it talks also about the priorities, doesn't it? This is the first priority.
Right.
Second, and in every street it talks about, you know,
I'm
resources.
an official citizen.
Because, I mean, if you look at Hall Street, they think that's a major road because that's how they get out to Walnut, but it's not, right? So,
It's an alley.
yeah, you try to do like Walnut, South Street, Stop 10, you know, Crossgate area and that kind of stuff, Southfield Loop, you know, that kind of stuff, so we can get them out if they have an emergency. But that was strictly just information for you guys.
Did you want to bring up anything since we're recording and the world is watching? Your recommendation about the 5 to 6 5 to 6 inches of snow and how you'd like cars?
In our next ordinance meeting that I had to cancel this week, or this month, one of the things I want to look at is anything over 5 inches or 6 inches of snow, you can't park your car on the side of the road. I don't know if you've ever plowed, but you're using one hand to drive or steer and shift gears and the other one to do the plow. When you have that much snow in a pickup truck, the pickup truck will slide. So if your car's sitting there, how we didn't hit any, I don't know this time because it was close on several. That was one major issue. We had a ton of cars on the road, on the side. And then the other is we'd go through and clear it and then everybody blow their snow back out into the middle of the street. So we're gonna look at a couple of those things. When we get that amount of snow, how we can curb that. I plowed all the way around Crossgate, the big loop, and I didn't get Crossgate to stop 11 yet. You would think I would follow the path of the clear street, but I had 4 cars stuck in between Crossgate and stop 11. I had to push out to plow. So just stuff like that we look at. And after so many hours of doing that, everything looks the same. And one of the hard parts when you have that much is you can't tell where the curb is, so you're using mailboxes as your guide to try not to hit anything. So that's that on the snow plow. Let's hope we don't do any more this year.
Yeah.
As I said, the only thing you do otherwise is set up those little orange poles, you know what I mean? So you got a guy, but then you gotta pay for those, you gotta pay somebody to put those poles up, and then you gotta hope that, well, and you also gotta hope that, you know, and it's gonna happen, that they're gonna drive over them, take them, seal them, what have you, so that's the way.
Well, you know, the other problem is like when you go on Dorothy Street, she doesn't have curbing, so you're trying to figure out where the grass is.
Exactly.
So, okay, I only got 2 more things. The flooring over at Perry Seniors, we replaced, I want to say 3 years ago, but don't quote me on that, when we did the remodel then. It's breaking up. It didn't last very well. So I reached out to Big Dog Flooring who installed it. They had a nursing home who bought hardwood flooring that's commercial grade that glues to the floor, which will withstand a lot more beating. That's been paid for, and they will donate since it's been paid for. And then she said that she would donate the labor to install it. So what I need the board's approval on tonight is if we will accept the donation for the flooring and the labor, and they would like to start it Sunday.
Wow.
So can I get a motion to approve accepting Big Dog Flooring's offer to install the floor and the labor to start with as soon as possible?
I'll make a motion,
Go ahead, Doug.
for Big Dog Flooring, to use the donated flooring
Yeah.
and the labor to do the repairs on our community building.
There you go. A motion from Mr. Price. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Ms. Martinez. Any more discussion about how that works?
Is this just in their office
It's
area?
just
Yes.
the floor of the office.
Yeah, because one of the questions she had today for me was they don't have enough of the flooring that's been paid for to do the old clerk treasurer's part, but that floor is fine. So
Yeah.
I said just do the front area.
Who was the second on that? I'm sorry.
Here.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? Motion carries.
All right, so our city parking lot on Main Street, people don't realize it's there, I guess, they can't find it. I know the REC has been looking at doing some beautification, I guess is the right word, for the commercial district. Chris Payton has several ideas on what that looks like, and I know they're working through those. One of them was signage there so we could find it. So I got a quote, the picture I gave you guys is the design that big guy signs, big dog for you, big guy signs, big guy signs put together for me today. The signs are only $85 a piece, he's charging us $65. We need 4 of them, so a total of $260. So if I
What's
can,
total? Add that.
260. I need a calculator. So if I can get approval for the design and purchase of them, I'd appreciate that.
Do we, do you need 2 separate votes on that, or just?
Because of cost.
All right, so can I get a motion to approve the signage and the cost of $65 a piece for 4 signs put in the city park?
I would make that motion.
I've got a motion from Mr. Cooper, and I have a second.
It's the parking lot by the Lego store, right?
So yeah, we're gonna put them on the street sign right there. So it'd be 2-sided, so 1 for each side. And then at the parking lot, there's nothing that says that's the city parking lot. So we'll put them right there where the tow-away signs are for violating the hours.
The reason I asked is because you said the parking lot at the park, and I just wanted to make sure
Oh,
we
yeah.
were talking about it.
Okay, all right.
So,
Second.
I'll do the second.
Okay, any more questions? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries.
And that's all I've got, unless you want to talk about anything else.
Okay. Comments? Status? Anything?
I had 2 applications for plumbing and electric at the old Chase Bank. It's going to be a dentist office.
Oh, okay.
And before,
Really?
and then Thurman has a permit to replace those windows and do the, did he get the thing for the cutouts? I thought
The
he
second
did.
one, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if he's working on windows, please do not call me.
Yeah.
He has all his permits.
It's been yesterday and today, he's working like a maniac.
Yeah, yeah, he found out.
I mean, it is.
Probably.
So yeah, he is good.
And then the right of way at 37 Walnut.
Yeah, we had a water main on Walnut burst, so they got theirs today.
Okay, nice.
Hey,
Any
that's only,
business?
that's the first one, the only one this year.
I know.
That's on
I'm
January,
waiting for
February.
Southport.
Yeah, maybe we're up.
All right. It is 8:08 PM. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'd like to
Oh,
make
what did I do?
comments.
Oh, I'm trying to get this right. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Carol.
Okay, thanks. I drove through Crossgate, probably maybe, I don't know, 5 days ago, and I was amazed how many cars had not moved since the storm went through.
Oh, yeah. They're
And,
mad because I buried them.
yeah, but I think that's something that we need to look at too. I mean, if they're not, I mean, moving or,
Yeah, and I know we've had 3 in the last couple months that Tony's worked on. They were inoperable, flat tires or whatever.
yeah.
Has addressed those 3. It's the same thing. I've got a lot of calls about I can't shovel my driveway or my sidewalk because you threw 500 pounds of snow on it when you plow, and that is against the limit. And I'm like, yeah, we realize that. We'll give you some time for it to
And that,
melt.
you know, some of the thing with these cars too, but it's like, well, had you not had it on the street,
Right.
then you wouldn't be,
Yeah.
and if you had it in your driveway, then there wouldn't have been room for all that snow to go in your driveway.
And one of the things that, I think this is what, Man, he killed him on heavy trash this month. Yeah, and one of the things that, like, I get a report every month, and if you want to see it, I'll get you a copy of all the notifications, like he goes by when he sees, like, the car's not moving. Usually, it's hard to tell if they moved or not moved when you only do it a couple hours a week.
Exactly, I mean, I understand that would.
But when they got flat tires, or like you said, there's
Yeah.
still snow pile around, I
Yeah.
know you haven't moved it in 3 weeks because that's when it snowed.
Right,
Those are always the hard ones, but no, I agree. Crossgate has always been one of our, and it's because those rentals,
yeah,
those doubles.
exactly.
I did float a solution to that.
You want parking permits, you want more emails sent to the chief. I know that you want.
We could simplify it and just no street. And I'm saying this as a person who
I said you park on the street.
routinely parks on the street. Maybe we just make it no street parking anywhere.
Our permits.
That's what she wants. Yeah.
Well, or maybe no overnight street parking.
Yeah.
I don't know, just
Did
some
I answer
ideas, you know.
Did I answer that question or not?
Yeah.
Is that a good political way of working
I
on
mean,
that?
yeah.
Okay, good.
What's, then my other question is, what's the update on the, whatever you want to call it, barnuminium?
EM has purchased that whole property.
Okay,
Last month. Yeah, he finally got him to sell it to him. He is putting his ILP together to go to Indianapolis. I know he has, while doing that, they're looking at putting together what they want to come to the RDC with. What he was asking to do is turn that into a warehouse. So it'll be the same colors as all his other buildings. He wants to store some trucks in there, but mostly air and heating equipment. They're talking about putting a privacy fence along that whole north-south, going north and south on the east side, to make it look better for the neighbors on the other side. And the good thing is Greg, so, you know, he likes to make sure his
Yeah.
neighbors like him. So he does have a plan. I'm just glad they sold that thing to him.
absolutely.
So that's kind of where we're at with that. He's
Okay.
waiting on ILPs from Indy, which could take God knows when. I gotta be careful how it works for the city now.
That's it for me.
Anybody else?
Heather?
Just one quick thing. With the video that you showed, that new officer, he is an unpaid officer,
Yes,
correct?
he's a reserve.
Okay, so the two officers that were there from IMPD were paid officers, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, and you know, one of the things, like, you know, I'm proud of the guys that do this as a reserve, because not only can he, if there was guns, could have been shot,
Right,
but then you have the bloodborne passage inside where he's gotta take them to his.
right, and that was kind of my point, is that he walked into that situation
Yeah.
as a volunteer,
And I mean, think about it, all the number of officers we have here that don't get paid,
right?
and they put themselves on the line for people, they don't even live here.
Right,
Nobody lives in Southport that does it. So I think that's a cool thing, you know?
Yeah.
To me, I have a lot of respect for that. Somebody
yeah,
does it.
absolutely, and just, I think when you watch that video and you see, yes, that those other two officers from IMPD showed up, but they were not taking charge of the
No.
situation in any way.
Right.
They were looking to him to dictate
Right.
what needed to happen.
And you could tell coming up, it was still chaotic when he was trying to get it under control, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, what, it was like 2 minutes before they got there probably? So for 2 minutes, which if you're the only officer there, seems like a lifetime.
Right, of like 8 people shouting at you
Yeah.
and.
Yeah, it seems like forever. Yeah, it's kind of, it's always hard here, like, if you're not inside Marion County, those agencies train a lot together, and they do a lot of things together, right? Here, I mean, you would think that if I'm coming into that situation and he's dealing with these two women, that I'm just gonna start grabbing people and securing them.
Right,
There's nothing that says I can't put you in handcuffs and take them out, right?
yeah,
And, you know, that's what you kind of, what I, as a chief, would expect them to show up, put them in
Right.
cuffs, sit them down, and then start figuring out what's going on, instead of now you two yelling at him too, trying to get information when five
Right.
other people are still yelling.
right.
So, yeah, I mean, that's always the hard part. And I don't think either one of those have been on very long on IMPD either, have they?
I mean,
5 years maybe?
less than that.
Yeah, 5 or less.
Yeah.
So, you know, you got a lot of young officers that are trying to figure it out.
Sure,
And unfortunately, in our profession, the older guys are retired because we don't put up with it anymore.
right,
So you're losing a lot of that knowledge
Yeah.
that, you know,
Yeah.
An old guy, you know, Major's been doing it a long time, he gets there, that scene looks a lot different.
Right.
Probably more secured by the time those other two even get there. But again, that's part of the learning process of it.
Sure.
But yeah, like I said, I got a lot of respect for him.
Absolutely,
free.
absolutely.
And our guys are a little different. Other reserve agencies only have to do 24 hours a month. Our guys pick one day. So every Monday, second shift is Aaron Beach, every Monday. Unless he's on vacation, then he has to find somebody to fill it.
Okay.
So these guys are doing one day a week, 8 hours for free every
Yeah,
week. So,
yeah.
Any other questions? It is 8:15. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion from Cooney and a second by Price.
Everybody's waiting now. Should we ask who was talking? Hey, you guys want to?
So, yes,
Come on. I'll show you where the hiding spot is.
I know where the chocolate is.
Bandanas. Of course. No problem.
Waiting for me. I've got more stuff. That was signage and some, you know, a bunch of other things. And I met on Monday, I was like, and you have to go get your passport at home and then maybe someone can help you with the other person. Or by himself,
Working. You've been driving that semi in the snow.
We call him Ass.
I think he's slid 2 times now.
Oh, man, he's got British, heavy metal.
ACDC, yes, oh, there you go, yeah. Gosh, I saw them for New Year's back in the 90s.
We've got 5 kids in our house.
Thing down on
Every day, so
I want to be
now you need to do what crazy is.
ACDC? No, it had to be, I'm trying to think. What's this one guy? Okay. That's what I was living in Orange County, actually, but, and we went to see them in concert. They weren't as big of a deal, maybe, I don't know, they may not have been, but they were, we saw them in New Year's Eve.
They're pretty good looking.
So before 1981. It had been between 76 and 81. There's a lot of stuff tonight, more than we thought.
Did you
But anyway, I saw them in concert.
You get
Back in the day.
that little one. You're such a troublemaker. I can see you thinking.
Bring that in and
Thank you so much.
So what we need to do is just do a password reset. Yeah, that'll be easy.
Okay.
So
It's a password. So I think I got mine. It's from something that you said tonight. Norman Herzog over on Arkansas Circle. He was calling and complaining. He called in here. Message, I guess, kind of.
let me know but you want to let me know?
Yeah, I'll let you know, sure.
I think you have my phone number.
You know, snow.
I thought you did. You just text me. I think Nate usually does, but you just say, you know,
Yeah.
we're looking at this time.
Yeah, that's-
It'll be me for sure, because I don't have a life. And then, I'll like handle it, that's,
She
so
told
it'll
me
work
about
out.
when I stopped in, she gave me, she sent me an email about it, so.
That email I sent you on that, complaining about that, did you talk to him?
Oh, shit.
Was it a phone number?
Yeah.
Oh, I know, it's annoying.